Good evening. So how is everybody? Woohoo! Congratulations, you made it. Welcome to BLC ALS 17-10 graduation. As I told you the first day that you were here, I too am a graduate of this organization. And I'm proud to be here tonight with you, building on the legacy that Colonel Morrissey and Chief Langford started. So one of the things that I really like about the Air National Guard is our ingenuity. And this course, this blended learning course, is a perfect example about how the Air National Guard can solve a problem. So as you guys know, most of our force is traditional guardsmen. So that means they either have a full-time job or they're full-time students or maybe both. So getting away from that for 5 weeks can be problematic. So we developed a course that took that 5 weeks, split it into 2 sections, and reduced the in-residence time down to 2 weeks. It did 2 major things, really. 1, it shortened the time that you have to be here, but 2, it allows us to send 3 students through for every 1 in the 5-week course, getting that in-residence experience to more people. So first I want to welcome our guest speaker. We've had some really good conversations in the last few days. I am so excited that you were able to spend as much time with us as you were. Anybody that's read his bio knows that he views education and force development as a top priority, and he's leading by example. So that's why I think it's extra nice that you're here, so you can kind of see how we've modified what the active duty set up. Chief Anderson, always a pleasure. Chief Anderson and I have had a number of assignments in the same locations at the same time, and I love how it's a small world and our worlds our paths keep crossing. So for the chiefs, the commanders, the family and friends that are here, thank you for your support. These airmen wouldn't be here today without your support. To the class, congratulations. I know it's been probably a pretty hectic 2 weeks, probably more hectic before you came down here where you're trying to do that online stuff and do whatever else you're supposed to be doing in life, but you did it and now you're graduating. So anybody that knows me knows that I like to read. And I recently read a book by Colin Powell, It Worked for Me. And in it, he discusses what is a leader. And there's a quote in there that I want to read to you because I think it's pretty pertinent. What is a leader? His answer: someone unafraid to take charge. Someone people respond to and are willing to follow. He believes leaders must be born with a natural connection and affinity to others, which then must be encouraged and developed by parents and teachers and molded by training, experience, and mentoring. You can learn to be a better leader. You can also waste your natural talents by ceasing to learn and grow. So I encourage you to keep learning and keep growing. This is probably the first of many steps in your military and civilian life. One of the priorities of Secretary Wilson, General Goldfein, and our own Chief Wright right here is to develop exceptional leaders to lead the world's most powerful teams. You are those future leaders. Some of you will become senior NCOs. Others maybe make command or chief or command chief. Or maybe others, like me, decide to take a commission. And maybe one day it'll be you up on the stage talking to the next generation. So don't forget what you do and don't matters. So do your best, remember what you've learned here, and apply the Air Force core values. I was doing so well too, in all you do. I wish you all the very best, and with that, I will turn it over to Chief Hinckley to introduce our guest speaker.
Good evening. I am Chief Hinckley. I'm the Commandant here at the Chief Master Sergeant Paul H. Langford PME Center, and I have the distinct honor and privilege to introduce our guest speaker. Some of the staff has had some opportunities to hear him speak this week, but right now, he's here for you, here to inspire you, here to motivate you, here to make you better leaders for what you're about to do when you go back to your units. So without further ado, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Khalith O'Reilly.
All right, thank you. Good evening. How are we doing today? Good. Man, one of the things that I was really excited to see was the students being involved in this graduation process, being a part of the Honor Guard, being a part of the POW MIA ceremony. So that's a great thing to see that at such an early age, even though I'm pretty sure the instructors made you do it, right, that you're committed into your own and involved in your own graduation. Let me say thank you to Colonel Lovely, to Colonel Meese and Miss Jennifer, to Chief and his entire staff. Thank you to all of the leadership that's here, all of my fellow command chiefs for coming to support these airmen. And thank you and congratulations to the class, to the airmen who are graduating this BLC course. Man, this is a very special night. You completing your first level of enlisted PME. So I'm extremely proud of you. I'm excited to see what you'll do for our Air Force in the future. And I really do wish you the best of luck. I wanted to say a special thank you to my good friend, my neighbor, my road dog, Chief Anderson. Many of you may not know, but me and Chief Anderson actually went to high school together. So we both grew up right outside of LA in Torrance, California, and we played basketball together. So we were on the same basketball team. We had scholarships actually to go to UCLA, believe it or not. And in order to get the scholarship back then, so this was maybe before some of you were actually born, but in order for us to get our scholarship back then, we had to go in to the school and take a test. So we went in to take our test. We were going to get our scholarship. We were going to be great at basketball and go on, and we had these dreams of being in the NBA. So we sit down and take our test, and Chief Ron at the time, Ron K. Wright at the time, he was sitting right beside me. I get to the first question on the test, and it's, what did Old MacDonald have? So I'm like, so I said, Ron, what did Old MacDonald have? He says, K. Wright, you big dummy. Everybody knows Old MacDonald had a farm. Yeah, you're right. I was like, my man, appreciate it. We did the fist bump. Next question. For me, I thought to myself, hey, Ron, how do you spell farm? K. Wright, you big dummy. Everybody knows you spell farm, E-I-E-I-O. So needless to say, we didn't get in UCLA, and we both joined the Air Force, and here we are. So as you can see from that story, education is actually important. So I'm glad that you guys came here and got this education. What I thought I would share with you tonight, after going through your distance learning portion and after going through the in-residence portion, I thought I'd share just a couple of things that I think will be helpful for you. And I'm glad the Colonel mentioned about reading. I too, and we've actually talked about this, am an avid reader. I'd like to recommend a book for you, and then I want to teach you a few things out of this book. So the book I'd like to recommend for you that I think will be good for your growth and development, this is a book that I started reading when I was a staff sergeant. It's been around that long, and I still read actually today. And it's called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. So I want to share with you 3 of those laws that I think will be appropriate for you on your next journey as you move forward. So one of the reasons that we brought you to this class is to prepare you for greater leadership opportunities at some point in your careers and at some point in your lives, personal or professional, and you will be leaders. You will lead other airmen. Many of you may already lead other employees in whatever it is you do in your other job. And so it's part of our responsibility. And I'm almost certain that your instructors did an outstanding job, both in the distance learning portion as well as your in-residence instructors. So again, I want to share these 3 laws from this book with you. And the first law is called the law of the pitcher, right? The law of the pitcher. And this law states that people do what people see. People do what people see. It speaks to your responsibility to be role models, to lead from the front, to lead by example. Now, this could be very easy for you at this point in your careers. Just imagine now as airmen that you've already been doing it. You've already been leading from the front. You've already come to work early. You've already performed your job in an exemplary manner. You've already come to work looking sharp, doing all the things that we expect of a professional airman. So now you sew on your stripe, your uniform changes, but not much else changes because people already see you as, hey man, that's somebody that I want to be like. Or this could be relatively challenging for you. Imagine, you don't have to imagine because you know, only you know, if you were the type of airman who does the exact opposite of all of that. And now you'll be a supervisor. You'll be charged with leading other airmen. You'll be charged with providing them feedback. You'll be charged with making sure they get the work done correctly and on time, but you haven't done it yourself. So I want you to think about the importance of being a role model. I want you to think about some of the role models that you have right now. And I actually want to share a story with you about me as a role model or the lack thereof. So I was a brand new Chief Master Sergeant. I was stationed at Kadena Air Base, and I was also the coach of the basketball team. So this is actually a true story. The story earlier wasn't true, right? About we didn't play basketball together, we didn't go to high school. But this is actually a true story. So I was brand new chief, coaching the basketball team, Kadena Air Base. A young lady walked into my office one day, and I had seen her around the organization, but she had never spoken to me. She was relatively quiet. And she said, hey, Chief, can I tell you something? I said, sure, sit down. And she said, man, I saw you, yesterday I was in the BX with my son, and he saw you and he said, hey, Mom, who is that guy? And she said, oh, that's Chief Wright. You know, he's a superintendent of the dental squadron and so on and so forth. And he looked at me and he said, wow, I want to be just like him when I grow up. So imagine me, I'm sitting there, right? I'm like, that's right, yeah, okay, right. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for letting me know I've been such a role model for your son. She said, but then we walked and we did some shopping and we came back, we ran into you in another part of the BX, and I'm pretty sure you were talking to one of your basketball players, and all we heard was the F-bomb and S this and D word, and I don't know what you were talking about, Chief, but it was pretty bad. So my son looked at me and he said, Mom, never mind. You could probably guess that there haven't been many times in my life that I've been speechless. This was one. All right, this is a very powerful moment for me. I was a chief master sergeant and had not consciously realized that people are always watching. I had a responsibility all the time to be a role model. And so I want you to think about and internalize the importance of the law of the picture. People do what people see. The next law that I think will be helpful for you is the law of process. This law says that leadership develops daily, but not in a day. And it speaks to your responsibility to continue growing as a leader. Growth and development as a leader is a process. You do it daily, but you won't become John Maxwell in a day. So you got to keep working at it. You got to keep getting better at it. You can determine what methods you use. I tell you what works for me. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm an avid reader. But with the advent of technology, I'm also an avid consumer of blogs, of TED Talks, of YouTube videos, of motivational videos by Tony Robbins and E.T. Eric Thomas and all of those folks. If you just get on YouTube and type in motivation or leadership or whatever you're interested in, I guarantee you'll find something that you can fill your cup. This is important. This is important. This is important because your responsibilities as a leader and a mentor, they never end. So you may be thinking to yourself, well, I'm pretty smart now. I have my degree. I've been to PME. I got a little bit of experience. I have a lot to give. Let's say we stop this graduation right now. I got off the stage and we had a mentoring marathon. You can't leave the room until you give everything that you have, everything you know. How long would you last? How long would you last before you run out of material? Even if I gave you 2 weeks, how long would you last? All of us at some point would run out of relevant things to teach, to mentor folks about. And so you have to continue to fill your cup. You have to continue to grow and develop as a leader. The last law that I know will be helpful for you is the law of connection. You must first touch a heart before you ask for a hand. You must first touch a heart before you ask for a hand. I don't know how many of you attended the all call the other day, but I mentioned in there I was talking about compassion and this age-old phrase, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Let me reveal something to you. You are very complex human beings. Along with every other airman and every other human being on this planet. To include the airmen that you will supervise. It'll be very important for you to gain their trust, for you to engage with them, for you to understand what drives them, for you to understand their backgrounds, for you to understand what motivates them. This is a challenging law for all of us. I've debated with some psychologists, actually. Why I would be debating with a psychologist about things like this, I don't know. But I have my thoughts about it. My thoughts about this is a law that either you have it or you don't. I could give you a class, I could train you on how to care. But this is one of those things, either you have it or you don't. And if you don't, you can't be a leader. This is also difficult because I want to speak to the senior leaders in the room, right? Anybody who's not in ALS. Have you ever had someone work for you that you don't like? I have. I've actually had somebody work for me that I hated. But they were my airmen. And I had to learn, I had to give everything I had to care for them, just like the ones that I love to death. These are situations that you're going to face. Now, you may be saying to yourself, yeah, Chief, I got it. That's a lot of stuff you're throwing at us. They already threw a lot of stuff at us. But basically, you know, right now we're still senior airmen. We're going to be staff sergeants, but man, we still, you know, when are we going to have time to do all of this stuff? All of this stuff, all these requirements, all these extra things that you're saying that we need to do. When are we going to have time to do that? Great leaders like you make time for what's important to you. There's always time for leadership. Again, if you can practice the law of the picture, people see, people do what people see. The law of process, leadership develops daily, but not in a day. And the law of connection, you must first touch your heart before you ask for a hand. I think you can be very successful as you move forward in your careers. I'll end with a story about me and how a great leader like all of you impacted my career in all three of those areas. It started after I graduated from technical training in about August 1989, somewhere in there. I went home for 7 days of leave, and I decided, wow, this is pretty cool. I'm hanging out with my friends. 7 days is not enough. I think I'll take a few more. So I called my first duty station, and I said, hey, this is Airman Wright. I know I'm supposed to be there tomorrow, but I need a little bit more time to hang out, so I'll be there sometime next week. Not sure when, but it'll be sometime next week. Again, true story. They said, okay, hold on. They gave the telephone to one each, Joseph Marshall Winbush. Tech Sergeant Winbush says, who is this? I said, this is Airman Wright. What's your story? I explained it again. He said, I tell you what, you better get your butt on that bus, and you better be here by noon tomorrow. It's like, okay, and he didn't say but. So I get on the bus. I get to Pope Air Force Base. Not my supervisor, not my sponsor. Joe Winbush grabs me by my BDU top, drags me off the bus, and begins day one mentoring, providing the right example, teaching me what it meant to be an airman. One of the most powerful things that he ever did for me was, after 2 or 3 years of molding me and shaping me and helping me understand how to grow, of being a phenomenal example for me, practicing each one of these laws, he says to me, hey, take this paper, go join the base honor guard. I gave him the paper back. No, I'm not really into the military like that. Thank you very much. He gave me the paper back with a few choice words. Nonetheless, I joined the base honor guard. And I became a new man through those experiences. Today, Joseph Marshall Winbush is a retired Master Sergeant, retired First Sergeant. He lives about 30 minutes from me in Waldorf, Maryland, and has been like a father to me for the last 28 years. He was the example that got me here today. being a great role model, I will tell you, leading from the front is not the main thing, it's the only thing. I'm very excited for you. I'm very excited to see what you will do for our Air Force. I'm looking forward to seeing you when I come out and visit your particular base. Take care of each other. Take care of your airmen. Thank you very much. God bless the United States Air Force. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Wright. Chief Hinckley, please join me on stage. At the Chief Master Sergeant Paul H. Langford EPME Center, we strive to create an academic environment that promotes professionalism and personal growth. We make every effort to further develop in our students the professional skills, knowledge, and attitudes required of leaders, supervisors, and managers in today's rapidly changing Air Force. In pursuit of this goal, we challenge these students to comprehend and apply, to proactively participate rather than passively absorb, and to proudly lead rather than meekly follow. We insist on high academic standards, dedication, healthy competition, and the highest standards of personal conduct. It is for these reasons that we believe the most significant achievement any one student can attain is the diploma. This diploma signifies that the holder has completed this prestigious level of enlisted professional military education. The faculty of the Chief Master Sergeant Paul H. Langford Enlisted PME Center have tested these students for graduation and found that they have met all requirements for the completion of the prescribed program of study. As well, the Commandant declares this class EPME complete and approves the award of diplomas to the graduates of Airman Leadership School Class 17-10. Instructors will now announce the graduates from their respective flights. Technical Sergeant Todd Barron is the A-Flight instructor.
The flight leader for A-Flight is Senior Airman Darian R. Quinn. Senior Airman Leanne A. Elliott. Senior Airman Caitlin M. Fuga. Senior Airman Mark A. Ramos. Senior Airman Ryan S. Schuler. Senior Airman Brian P. Sullivan. Senior Airman Douglas Teeters. Senior Airman Tyler W. Turnmeyer. Senior Airman Sean L. Weber. Senior Airman Todd J. Wilson. Senior Airman Juan S. Yanguas. Ladies and gentlemen, A-Flight.
Technical Sergeant Michael Wells is the B-Flight instructor.
The flight leader for B-Flight is Senior Airman Travis Mungia. Senior Airman Precious Baker. Senior Airman Robert Cento. Senior Airman Bruce Christensen. Senior Airman Connor Cuneo. Senior Airman Mecca Jennings. Senior Airman Colby Jerem. Senior Airman Matthew Kane. Senior Airman Dalton Roadhouse Murray. Senior Airman Otis Tim. And Senior Airman Tawny Ward. Ladies and gentlemen, B Flight.
Technical Sergeant Sonny Blaylock is the C Flight instructor.
All right. The flight leader for C Flight is Senior Airman DeQuandre Q. Johnson. Senior Airman Sylvia C. Flowers. Senior Airman Lucas L. Hawker. Senior Airman Teresa L. Johnson. Senior Airman Nathaniel A. Hirado. Got it. Senior Airman Leanne R. LeClaire. Senior Airman Felipe Lozada Sinistera. Senior Airman Alec C. Meyer. Senior Airman Austin C. Major. Senior Airman William L. Middleton. Senior Airman Raina G. Raggio. This has got to be a mistake. Senior Airman David T. Wethington. Ladies and gentlemen, C Flight.
Technical Sergeant Joseph Hunter is the D Flight instructor.
The flight leader for D Flight is Senior Airman Christopher Brune. Senior Airman Merrill Allen. Senior Airman Taylor Boyd. Senior Airman Joel Boltemeyer. Seaman Kerry Dotson, Jr. Seaman Brandon Glover. Seaman Wendy Osborne. Seaman Brittany Smith. And Seaman Devin Strasburg. Ladies and gentlemen, D-Flight.
So I actually had the pleasure of being E-Flight's instructor. So our class leader for class 17-10 is Staff Sergeant Timothy L. Schutte. The flight leader for E-Flight is Senior Airman Adam N. Kerrigan. Senior Airman Heather Davis. Senior Airman Stephen B. Kleck. Senior Airman Jacob S. Lowe. Senior Airman Amber B. Mocktater. Senior Airman Casey M. Murphy. Senior Airman Shay M. Romaine. And last but not least, Senior Airman Jeffrey R. Ramos. Ladies and gentlemen, E-Flight. Way to go, guys. A big round of applause for all our graduates. We will continue today's ceremony by recognizing the individual achievements from this talented and outstanding group of NCOs and airmen. As with any academic endeavor, there are those who stand out among their peers. While all of our graduates should stand proud, having met the rigorous demands of enlisted EPME, some have distinguished themselves through individual accomplishments and are deserving of special recognition. It is now time to recognize their efforts with our awards program. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience for these graduates, so please feel free to come forward and take photos of the awards ceremony. The first presentation is the Distinguished Graduate Awards. These awards are presented to the students in the top 10% of the class. Their selection is based on objective and performance evaluations, demonstrated leadership, and performance as a team player. Presenting the distinguished graduates their medallions and diplomas will be our Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Chief Master Sergeant Wright, and our Commandant, Chief Master Sergeant Hinckley. The distinguished graduates for ALS Academy 17-10 are From the 132nd Operations Support Squadron and a member of E Flight, Senior Airman Casey Murphy. From the 134th Air Refueling Wing and a member of C Flight, Senior Airman David Wethington. From the 292nd Combat Communications Squadron and a member of D Flight, Senior Airman Christopher Brunn. From the 157th Airlift Wing, and a member of E Flight, Senior Airman Adam Kerrigan. And from the 213th Maintenance Squadron and a member of C Flight, Senior Airman William Middleton. Ladies and gentlemen, your distinguished graduates, congratulations to all of you. Our next award is the Academic Achievement Award. This award denotes excellence as a scholar and is presented to the graduate with the highest academic point total from objective tests and performance evaluations. Presenting the award will be the Director of Operations, Senior Master Sergeant Timothy Capps. The recipient of the Academic Achievement Award for Airman Leadership School Class 17-10 is, from the 157th Refueling Wing and a member of E Flight, Senior Airman Adam Kerrigan. Thank you, Sergeant Capps. Our next award is the Leadership Award. This award is given in honor of Chief Master Sergeant Paul H. Langford, the first enlisted commandant of the Non-Commissioned Officer Academy and Leadership School from 1968 until his retirement in 1981. Chief Langford began his military career in 1939 as a member of the Army Air Corps. During World War II, he served in the Philippines with the 27th Bomb Group until his capture by the Japanese. He was a survivor of the Bataan Death March and spent 3.5 years as a prisoner of war. Chief Langford served in uniform for over 42 years and continued addressing students until his death in 2008. His service record is worthy of emulation by all current and future NCOs. Nominees, please stand and remain standing as I call your name. The nominees are from the 101st Air and Space Operations Group and a member of A Flight, Senior Airman Tyler Turnmeyer. From the 190th Intelligence Squadron and a member of B Flight, Senior Airman Travis Manguia. From the 213th Maintenance Squadron and a member of C Flight, Senior Airman William Middleton. From the 112th Cyber Operations Squadron and a member of D Flight, Senior Airman Brandon Glover. And from the 132nd Operations Support Squadron and a member of E Flight, Senior Airman Casey Murphy. Presenting the Leadership Award will be Chief Master Sergeant Hinckley. The recipient, The recipient of the Leadership Award for ALS Class 17-10 is from the 112th Cyber Operations Squadron and a member of D Flight, Senior Airman Brandon Glover. Our final award, the John L. Levittow Award, is the most prestigious honor earned by a graduate of any enlisted professional military education course. This award is named in honor of Sergeant John L. Levittow. As a Medal of Honor recipient during the Vietnam War, Sergeant Levittow demonstrated the embodiment of our core values, especially service before self. This award is presented to the student ranked number 1 in the class. It is based on academics, peer and instructor appraisals, and performance evaluations. It denotes excellence as a leader and a scholar. Presenting the Levittow Award will be our commander, Colonel Lovely. The top graduate and recipient of the John L. Levittow Award is from the 132nd Operations Support Squadron and a member of E Flight, Senior Airman Casey Murphy.
Trouble comes our way.
Thank you, Colonel Lovely. One more round of applause for all our award recipients. We would like to recognize one final time the graduates of Airman Leadership School Class 17-10. Congratulations to you all. We would also like to thank the family members and supervision of these graduating airmen and NCOs. Without your support at home, leadership and mentoring at work, and dedication to the United States Air Force and our country, this vital step in their career would not be possible. Would the family members and supervision of these airmen please stand and be recognized? We would also like to recognize the POW MIA ceremony and color guard participants of Senior Airman Allen, Senior Airman Cuneo, Senior Airman Jennings, Senior Airman Boyd, Senior Airman Wethington, Senior Airman Middleton, Senior Airman Stratsburg, and Senior Airman Turnmeyer. Last but not least, we would also like to recognize the student operations team for their tireless efforts to ensure our graduation dinner tonight was a success. Tech Sergeant Palmer, who is back in the back, and Staff Sergeant Tompkins, please stand and be recognized. Chief Hinckley, would you like to share some final comments with the class?
Wow, thank you. What a great night. What a great night to celebrate and your achievements as a class. You worked together online. You bonded as teammates. You spent time away from your civilian employer, but you came through all of the hard work and efforts that you put into this evening for your graduation. You know, it's a big achievement. And lots of folks are proud of what you did and the time that you spent away and the leaders that you become and the tools that you received to use not just here as military members, but in the civilian community and being citizen airmen out there and helping do what we do best. And that's lead our peers and our subordinates. And you will have that opportunity. And I challenge you to take that seriously. Take what you've learned here and put it in action when you return home. So as we depart here tonight, we recognize the great words of Chief Master Sergeant Air Force Wright. Thank you for those inspiring words. And we also recognize the amount of effort that the instructor staff has put in to feeding you to lead the airmen of tomorrow. So if I could have the instructor staff please stand to be recognized for your efforts as well. So, you know, I know we thanked the family members and their support from time away and time at the computer and time in Blackboard. But I want you to also thank your civilian employers when you go back home and let them know exactly what you did while you were here and the lesson principles that you received and the tools that you put in your toolbox. Because leadership is not just about in the uniform, it's about in our community. Right? And you're going to take that back and you're going to represent well of who you are and what we do together. So lastly, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Chief Hinckley. We thank you for attending this celebration in honor of Airman Leadership School Class 17-10. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the departure of the official party. This concludes our ceremony. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.